What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's the final donation chart reading session.
Yes.
It's been a journey.
I know. No,
Surprised we
it's been
made
great.
it this far, but
yeah,
it's been fun.
it has been fun.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Appreciate everybody's donations, and that always donates.
How are you doing?
Fabulous, darling. How are you doing with Mars squaring Chiron?
Oh, outstanding. Not only that, it's like Mars on my Chiron, opposing all my Capricorn, and Chiron gets to square all that. So all in all, pretty good. Can't complain. I did take like a 15-minute nap before this.
Yes, I know. You were resting your eyes.
Just resting my eyes.
Resting your eyes.
Took a minute to rest the old eyeballs.
And hello, everybody. Hello.
Oh, Lauren's hair's on point, on fleek.
Gotta love that three barrel curling iron for sure. It's the best. Thank you, Super Golden. Hello, Robin. Super Golden. Oh, did you not put any information how this was the last viewer chart reading in the chat, or not chat? What is that called? Your
description.
I mean, it's just because I'm so Lakia. So we are, I mean, you can always get a reading. You can always book a reading. However, the donation readings we're going to sprinkle it in once a month because we want to start to, have a conversation with you guys and have you answer or, ask us questions and we give you answers, and we want it to, we want to vibe with you guys. Not that we're not vibing, but again, not everybody can relate to everybody's individual chart, and we love doing it, and we'll just sprinkle it in here and there. We'll switch it up.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this is way more draining than you would think. It is.
Well, I mean, it's not that. It's just that.
It is for me, I'll be honest.
I mean, yeah, because I think that, we want to be able to connect as a whole, and it's not that we're not connecting, because a lot of people do say that they learn from the charts.
We're connecting for sure.
But I think that, with the energy is just so wide. I mean, listen, we're always in wild times, right? But I feel like, talking about what's going on in the sky and just anything and everything that relates to 3D and 5D.
Maybe what's going on in life.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you this Mars square and Chiron. I mean, first of all, we're on. Oh yeah, that's a good story. We're on the third. I know it's hot. I don't want to get up.
Did you lock it?
Yeah, there you go. I'm so glad I didn't lock it. I hope they don't have their window open so they hear us, but whatever. So we're on the third floor. I mean, whatever. In apartments, I feel like you can. Ours is really quiet for the most part, but we're nobody's above us. And I can hear these two last night. Oh, Mars square Chiron. I'm like, are they going to make it through that Venus retrograde or before? So, I mean, this is everywhere I've gone this week since we've spoke last. When I went and I had a root canal. That was my first ever. That was lovely.
Aside from holding your mouth open for so long,
my
you
gosh.
weren't even sore afterwards. So I'd say it was a successful.
Oh yeah, no, the guy did a really good job, and like I said, I've never had one before. But I was like, sir, I cannot sit here for one more hour of this. Are you finished? So. But, yeah, the energy is just everybody that I've come in contact with this week, all the, with the trainer, the when I went and got my face, facial. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Everybody's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I mean, I haven't even been asking you this, even though I like know Mars square Chiron is, what do we say? It's gross energy.
That's like the best way I could describe it.
It's gross energy.
It's just bleh. Like, and it's hitting us in vulnerable places. Like who we are, our feelings. Totally. A lot of it is like internal.
Thank you, Lesley.
So it's a hard one.
Thank you, everybody.
And it's easy to project that stuff onto others and to make it more about another person. And I think with Pluto stopping, that's like adding another like level to the transformation of this healing at this moment.
I feel a lot of collective anxiety. That's what I told my like trainer today. I was like, the collective anxiety, and she is right. She's in health and wellness too, and she's like, oh yeah, all of my clients are like, yeah, lots of. I don't even know if it's mental anxiety. If anything, it feels very like heavy and emotional and very Saturn and Pisces and Pluto squaring the nodes. And it's like, I mean, listen, we were talking about this. We have eclipses, right? Every year. And we're always going to be in between worlds in eclipse time. But it is probably that Pluto squaring the nodes that's really like.
And the solar eclipse squaring Pluto. Pluto's going to play a big role in the next 6 months of our lives.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we got through that Saturn-Uranus square. Now here we go, Pluto in the nodes. It's just like, right? It's never ending, like, so.
It does feel like over the last couple of years, we have been in like constant attack from like the energies. But it's funny when even if you look at astrology, right, there's like all these, once in a lifetime transits. There's all these, big conjunctions, big squares between, bigger slow moving energies. And then if you think about too, there's like the Schumann resonance, that's always popping off. The solar flares are always popping off. Like energetically, it's just heavy all the time. There really is no.
And that Pluto will never again retrograde at double zero. Josie's asking, what will Pluto's retro bring? I mean, what do Pluto retrogrades? It's very inward. It's shadow work. If anything, I would say Pluto retrograde is fucking shadow work always. Should be.
We've been having Pluto retrogrades in our summertime. Mm-hmm. If you're in the United States, at least. If you're in Australia, it'd be the wintertime. But, I mean, for the last 17 years, really. Well, even longer. Mm-hmm. Like, even in Sag, it was like spring and summer. A little bit of winter. But anyways, like, the point being is that we get this basically, in our recent past, it's every summer we get a Pluto retrograde. And when I think back to the feeling of that, the summers always have that, like, summer quality to them. Like, they're always kind of freeing. They're always kind of fun. So I think, Pluto retrograde kind of, like, turns off some of the outer intensities. Mm-hmm. It amplifies some of the more inner intensities. But I think it gives us, like, a more of a drive for our passion or for things that make us, I would say more happy or fulfilled.
Oh.
So I think Pluto retrograde, I don't think Pluto retrograde's a bad thing by any means. I
don't think retrogrades...
No, I don't either. And I don't think it necessarily makes our life harder.
No, it makes you go... Well, whether it's the past or... I mean, people always talk about Mercury retrograde. It's like... Right, Saturn, Pluto, those deep planets that really talk about the past, like...
I think... I don't know, this like came to my mind, and maybe it's because I heard David say it like a few months back, but he was talking about that Sam Hunt song, Single for the Summer.
Oh, yeah, I love
So I was thinking
that
like,
song.
there's something about like that kind of energy with a Pluto retrograde. Mm-hmm. Where like if your passions aren't being met, like you kind of realize it internally, so you go back and maybe we've been going forward and doing certain things that we thought we were into, and Pluto retrograde kind of like makes it really apparent deep within us if we're into it or not, if we want to merge with this energy or if we want to be in whatever aspect, not just relationships, but like
well, and everything is a relationship. Your work, family, friends, it's all tied in. Josie says, I mean, is it going to be like we're always retroing in Capricorn? I love that, because were we not just talking about this in the car, that I'm like, I mean, we're like dipping our toe. Pluto's dipping his toe like Saturn did in Aquarius, retrograding back to go to not only a karmic degree, it'll go to 28, you said, but still, this is when I feel like we are going just intuitively, but I mean, or obviously, going to see and feel the most change with it being at 28. So it's like, right, it's going to go to 28. Then when it goes direct in January, it'll go back to Aquarius. Then he's going to go back to check everybody in whatever house system or whatever house it is in for all of you, and be like, have we, those 12 years, right? Because it was
16.
it was 16 years since 2008. What is dying to come to be reborn in the new? And that it's at 29 degrees. A karmic degree. So, and then November 2024, we can get the trumpets out and be like, we have finally entered Pluto, and like the first part of the age of Aquarius, because that doesn't happen until a long time fully, but
at least in our life, the generation of Pluto and Aquarius.
But Pluto would be,
so it's a big deal.
Yeah, very.
And stationing at 0, definitely we haven't seen that before, so it is all kind of new, and then it does go back into somewhat familiar territory. So there is potential that over the next 6 months, when Pluto retrogrades, that maybe we feel a sense of like, oh, this is familiar. This is a little bit more normal. But really, it's not doing us any good because we're not going to be there for much longer. So
right,
it's kind of, it is a shakeout. I like how someone put that, another shakeout to course correct. It's like, are you sure you don't want to come back and put all your energy and desire and all your internal gusto into this? And then you'll be like, yeah, actually I do. And then, 2 years from now, you'll be like, great. There's just nothing there anymore. Doesn't even exist. Got blown to smithereens.
Yeah.
By the wrecking ball of Pluto. Slowest moving wrecking ball ever. Like a wrecking ball in slow motion. Like, it's coming for you.
But I will take Pluto energy over Saturn any day. Any day. Well, I love Pluto energy because it's deep, it's penetrating, it's going to the dark to then come out of that retrograde to hopefully have some light and clarity. And and just like, right, 2026, Uranus and Gemini, I mean, that's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I just, this... Yeah, the energy is just right.
Well, it's
never going to be the same.
It's all changing. It's the Uranus and Gemini.
It's not
Neptune,
lighthearted
it's
energy.
Neptune and Aries. It's Pluto and Aquarius. These 3 outer planets have been in feminine signs.
Yeah.
At least for the last 8 years. Actually,
no wonder
less
why
than
the
that. Uranus
collective's
it's
so
only been
sensitive.
7 years or 5 years for Uranus. So, Uranus was in Aries before that, but to have all of them roughly around the same time come into that different polarity when it comes to feminine or masculine energy, that's a big change. I think especially because Pluto takes so long, and Neptune's 12 years and Uranus is 8, so it's like it's just kind of kicking things off. But I think it's good too. I think that we're gonna need some like masculine, defining, sharp, kind of intelligent energy.
Yeah.
In the collective, that's gonna help us figure out what the heck. Like it's a lot of it's like a big identification of like information. Like maybe it's what we get intuitively, downloads, or exactly what society presents to us. That it's like kind of just gonna have to rise above and be real, real clear and real defined on your life.
Absolutely.
So
And I feel like everybody should watch this show that I'm sure I'm like the late one behind it, but I think of this because of like a reading I did today. And, you know, I do mostly I feel like people are guided to me for like more synergy and relationship readings. And it's a show on Netflix called Sex Life. It's a very Plutonian show, but it's also based in real life. Like this shit goes this is like relationships, but also like, right, if somebody's meant to be in your life, the universe conspires. So it's a very I felt like it was a great series.
Did you finish it?
Oh yeah, I finished it this morning. Oh yeah. Oh, I
watched like an episode with her last night and then got like a little rundown on it, and I was like, oh wow, yeah.
I mean, because it's very, I feel like it's a very realistic look at how people feel in relationships. That's what I mean. Like, I think that people are going to take like the title and be like, oh, what, it's like, it shows like, right, if you're not being true to yourself and stop telling yourself that you are in something that, you know, is obviously like, you have to keep telling yourself, and that you're denying like your higher self, honestly, because passions and desires, I feel like we're conditioned to think that that is bad. But if it's obviously, if your passions and desires take over you and it's not, you know, like, right, you're doing fucked up shit to people and being malefic with it, well, then of course it's negative. But who doesn't want to have passion and desire and just in their life? Like, then what is the point? I don't know. The girl, the main character, like, she's a writer in it. So it's kind of like she's writing out her internal dialogue of how she feels. And then, like, it plays out the whole show. But there's so many different storylines. It was just very... I was late to the game on this show. I think I watched 2 episodes when it first came out. And for some reason, the show really triggered me. And I don't... No, who knows? Maybe it triggered my shadow or something. But then last night was when I was like, okay, tonight's the night to watch this.
I know.
And it's fucking wild.
Came out at like 10:30 and you were still awake, and I was like, what the heck is going on out here?
You're like, the Pisces is still up? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's called... I think it's just called, it's called Sex Life on Netflix. I don't know. It was like #1 for a long time, but I think it's been out for like almost a year. But and it's so funny because after I watched this, I was like, I Googled, I was like, cause I bet, you know, people would think that this would be almost like, you know, the coined, the twin flame thing. And I Googled like that show with that, and it was like, this is what twin flames are, and like there's a whole...
You know what that show reminded me of?
What?
The Uranus opposition.
Oh, what? And she's... I would say
Neptune,
square Neptune.
I feel like every character in that show was right around 42
Oh,
or 44
yeah.
years old, and like that was just so... They're all in their Uranus opposition. Like... midlife crisis.
100.
Because that's the time when Uranus like tries to liberate you the most. So if you're like not living in a happy place and living life where you feel authentic and like you're yourself, then Uranus is like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
But it's just like, no, this is the life I always dreamed of.
Right.
Like
and
that
with, like,
narrative.
Neptune
So I had, right.
Yeah.
And that's like, if anything, the main character to me seemed like she was definitely a Neptune, square, Neptune. And then like, yeah, like she, yeah, it's just so, it's, because I kept like, as I was watching it, I always am applying astrology. I'm like, what would their signs be? Oh, and remember I said that I should tell everybody, for all the Virgos out there, if they want to know what a Neptune in the 7th house is like, which has been there since 2012. just watch Vanderpump Rules because two of those, Lala and what's her face, are Virgos, and man, is that some relationship fuckery. I mean, I have to watch this 3D stuff sometimes because I'm just like, God, I have to like, what's going on in this crazy world? I mean, it really is like, it does, make you feel better about yourself sometimes, or it makes you not feel alone. I don't know, one of the two. Makes you not feel alone and makes you be like, oh shit.
Entertainment's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever kind of piques our interest. Like, it's good to, I think, disconnect and. I don't know. We're in both worlds, 3D, 5D, whatever. We're all of it. We're all things. Like, we find the things that you enjoy spending your time doing and do it.
I literally last night because Bryan was in here streaming or whatever, and when I was listening to my neighbors, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not in like a toxic relationship at this point in time with astrology, because I was like, yeah, if you were in something that wasn't great, like, this would be not fun. Like, it would not be fun to be in a relationship that is not in alignment at these astrological moments.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of projection of, like, a lot of wounds.
I mean, it reminds me a lot of, like, my old relationships when I didn't want to, like, look in the mirror and face my own shit, but, like... And I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, how evolved are two people that are like, I mean, it's just, relationships are cray-cray.
Relationships are amazing.
I mean,
and also
it's the hardest work.
Probably, yeah, it probably is. Probably is one of the hardest things.
Because
and we all desire it so much.
Well, and we all, it's like, that's the other thing is whatever
Maybe that's why. Maybe we all desire it so much that we get these
and it's just you can get everything now.
Or thoughts or how things should be. And then when they don't go the way we want, it's just
of course, Neptune, the fucking internet, the, OnlyFans, the Tinder, like, anybody can literally, whatever they're desiring, they can just have it. So why... that is what is like why relationships are so fucking crazy, because nobody's like really willing to do the inner work and their fucking shadow work, and then like really be emotionally available, like in every way available to like really not have the fear of like coming together. Like, yeah.
No, I agree.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's hard. People think that there's always something better, so they don't want to work on certain issues. They're like,
we had a fight, we're breaking up.
Yeah, like one thing goes wrong and it's over, but...
Like, today when we were watching the thing on Instagram, I was like, oh no, you got your Venus in Aquarius, babe. Allegedly during the retrograde, you're going to be dealing with an ex. So should I get crazy about this now? Are you going to fucking reach out to an ex? Like, I mean, I don't have control over any of that.
I'm not going to reach out to an ex, but...
No, but I mean, like, we could get so hung up on these transits and be like, oh my God, if Venus retrograde, we're going to break up. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. But in my head, I'm like, well, Sterling's mom has a lot of planets in Leo, and she's going to have all of, Venus on all that retrograde, so... Could she spark up some drama in my life around that time? Actually, yes. Very possible.
But see, you have the awareness of it.
Very possible that could happen. Why not? Everything's been so smooth for a while. It's like, you know what? I'm probably due for a little shake-up, to be honest.
Totally. Yeah. It's wild. These are some fucking wild times.
Oh, this Leo's gonna hide out. Don't hide. Leos can't hide. Leos are the worst hiders.
Thank you so... Oh, yeah. Yes.
Even the sun, when it's behind the clouds, you still know it's there.
Yes. Lauren's in the chat. I know. Lauren, who I did the reading for today. I mean...
Oh, Soulfit.
I'm telling you...
Yeah,
and listen, I want every... like, I'm like, should I even, like, say on... Like, she's gonna fucking... Uranus on your Jupiter. I told Bryan after this, I was like, ninth house, you are going to meet.
And I was like, oh, it ruled her fourth. And
that vacation you're going on.
Oh my God.
You're going to.
You might just find yourself with a Spaniard.
Oh,
someone
really?
else.
Sex.
But that is like so ninth house.
But right, and if you're meant to like,
And Uranus is foreign people too. Also, it's like people from so alien.
I just like
it's
it's in my conscious. I don't know. I might be manifesting this for you, and I don't. Like I want you to right. If the relationship, I mean, we're just being so real here, right? Like
it's gonna be an exciting trip one way or another, though. I feel like Uranus is gonna.
Lauren is in a very
kind of make
liberating
it like once
phase.
like kind of once in a lifetime trip, whatever happens.
Yeah. So sending you all the amazing vibes, girl. Get over the fuckery coming to me. Yeah, it's yeah.
Spoil that kitty.
Cray cray. Cray cray. So the world
Your
of
cat
disposables.
has her own laptop. I was wondering where that "spoil that kitty" comment came from.
Yeah,
but it's my kitty has her own laptop to watch her videos.
Yeah, I love that. Right? They need entertainment too.
We have a new pet.
Oh, right. I know. Yeah, you've been
Edgar.
really. I always Edgar and Carl, because Carl Young and
I don't
Edgar
know.
Casey.
I feel like one's a female and one's a male. Because
He's
I'm pretty
talking
sure
about
they're
these
ravens.
ravens that visit
Not
us.
crows, because they're a little bigger, and there's two of them, and usually
They're
when
like
there's
Odin's
a pair,
ravens.
it's ravens, and when there's like a group, which is called a murder of crows.
Well, we always see, I mean, ravens are like witchcraft, so I love ravens. People always associate black.
This homeboy sits on our.
Oh, can you? Oh, yeah, there he is.
This homeboy sits on our patio.
After Edgar Casey. Well, yeah, and probably because I'm putting like.
Oh yeah, we feed.
He's like
we feed him. We leave him
researching
offerings.
what to feed them, and I'm just like, I'm gonna put out your panda peanut butter cereal puffs or whatever they were. But no, the bird. Oh, and I saw this morning when I was, drinking my latte, watching that Sex Life, because I always have the windows open. I saw, because if I see a bird that I haven't seen before, I'll like Google it. And all it is a red house finch, but so a finch, but it was really pretty. It had a red. I almost thought for a minute it was a cardinal, but I was like, no, because it's not all red. But it said in Egyptian symbolism that the finch is also associated with the Egyptian goddess Isis. So gotta represent Isis always, which is, it's thus it also seen as a symbol of passion and creativity. And it says, the red house finch is also associated with the Egyptian goddess Isis. Isis was the goddess of healing, and thus the red house finch is seen as a symbol of hope and healing. If you see a red house finch, it may be a sign that you or someone you know needs healing. Almost like sending, just like energetically healing energy. The red house finch is also associated with the element of fire, and thus it is also seen as a symbol of passion and creativity.
Very nice.
So, and I mean, babe, we're so connected to like Cygnus, which is birds.
My moon's in the constellation of Cygnus. Your
Mercury.
Yeah, your Mercury. I was gonna say, is my south node? My south node's there too. Or my north node. Is your south node?
No, mine's at 10. No, but your north node is there. And I mean, Cygnus is, they were swan priestesses, but it's also with birds and communication. It's very mercurial and like messengers. And so, yeah.
Yeah. One of the first aliens I ever came in contact with back in the day was a bird alien.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that. So, and you're like meditating. When you were meditating. Yeah. So, I mean, and birds are Mercury, it's messengers, so it's Hermes. And
I love the birds, but man, I love that raven. Oh, I get
Edgar.
so excited.
Edgar.
I love that guy. I'm like, can you just live with us? I'm like, we'll take good care of you.
Well, he comes every morning.
I
see him a lot in the morning, but he gets to go off and deliver other messages.
He'd stay in this place.
And there's two, and you said that they mate for life, and there's two of. Well, I only saw the one today, so.
I was thinking we should name the female Casey. Because that could be both male or female.
We were going
to... Edgar Casey?
Because they said Carl. We were going to say Carlita.
She's spicy.
She's a spicy Pisces. So, without further ado.
Oh, you have a falcon?
Yeah, now that's legit. We see kites and falcons and stuff all the time, which I love. I love. Yeah.
She was talking about it. She's like, would you put one of those things on your
Oh,
arm for
you're
Edgar to
saying
come
I'm gonna
out? And I was
find
like,
him out there.
yeah, if
With
Edgar would come
whatever
kick it
that's
on,
called.
I'd be fucking, hey, look at me and my raven. Like, yeah, I would do that for sure. No question about it.
I'm gonna find him out here with all this like bird gear on one day, and I'm gonna be like, "What? Yeah, that is good, Lesley. Alistair, Edgar, and Alistair. Okay, I'm down with that. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It doesn't
Lesley
matter.
wins.
You can call her Allie if you want.
No, I think you spelled it right.
Yeah, yeah. Love
Yeah,
it. Falcon
animals
is
are
her
cool.
dog.
Oh, Falcon's your dog. Ozzy Doodle, gotcha.
Hussy doodle.
That's a cool name.
Is Vilo Fairy in the chat? Vilo Fairy. You can share. I'm a little behind the video. You guys rock. Yeah. Soul Fit. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Someone's going to come in when you are traveling 9th house with Uranus on your Jupiter. Yeah. And you're going to be getting those wild intuitive hits. So
Yeah.
much love. All right. October 4th, 9th, 1999, 2:51 p.m. Templeton, California. And take it away.
Hopefully that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cap Rising, 9th house sun, Moon in Leo, Pluto in the 11th.
Capricorn rising, yeah. 7th house, what? Cancer, Vertex, Leo, yeah. Venus. Oh, Venus Vertex, yeah. Venus retrograde is gonna be right there. It's gonna be.
Well, I would say, Vilo, you have a pretty big personality and there's a lot of uniqueness to you. Of course, Pluto in the 11th is... It's a pretty rebellious soul by nature. Sometimes it can rebel from its own need to rebel. So, remember that it's okay to do things your way. And I think that you're probably decently good at that because you do have your moon in Leo. It's with your north node. Venus is in Leo. It's in the 7th house and you're a Libra. So it's important to learn how to relate your uniqueness with other people. Not to put yourself above or anything because you're doing things your own way. But to learn how to see the love and the expression of others as well, and that can feel really good and comforting because that south node's in the 1st with Uranus in Aquarius. It's very you are a very Uranian individual, which can come across shocking to people and kind of feel like you could even feel like yourself, you're different, and you're learning how to relate that difference with other people. And to really show up with courage and to show up with love. And these are the things that are really going to help you, find the balance and harmony that I think you believe exists, that you want to cultivate a higher belief around. It all does. But it's just learning to balance things, to share, to not, feel like you're on it all by yourself or, oh, you're getting the comfy chair.
I know. I gotta be comfy.
Lucky. Love that chair. It's yours.
The sacrifices. Okay.
Saturn does square your nodes as well, so I do think that that Saturn plays a big role in your life. It's also retrograde, which amplifies the fact that you don't do well when people tell you what to do. You're not someone that, and you even have Chiron in the 10th. I feel like you probably do have a natural disposition to rules. When people try to control any situation in your life, you want the authority and you're learning how to find your own power and authority. And that's, again, what gives you balance and helps you relate to people. Saturn in the 4th on the IC and square the nodes. It's probably a pretty, and square your moon exactly. Probably a pretty rough upbringing, which could have made you grow up kind of fast or learn things kind of the hard way, or feel like you were suppressed, or could have even brought on a shyness to you as well. And it's learning to feel confident in your uniqueness from the core and learning to develop your own system of rules based on your uniqueness, but learning how to take that uniqueness and kind of all for oneness that you could possess and great like sort of friendship karma that could be there as well, and direct it towards really lighting your path, but kind of leading the way and brightening it for others too. I think is something that's really important. But there's definitely something about rules that you're not too fond of, and maybe that's because the rules aren't that fair, and you're a Libra, and like balance and harmony and fairness is important to you. So it's something that like can be really amplified, and the sun makes great aspects to your nodes in the exact sextile and trine, and even in a sextile to your moon in the 7th too. So I just think
Does she have Neptune 1 Aquarius? Am I seeing this right?
Yeah. Yep, Neptune 1
Oh my god, Pluto on her Neptune?
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like I want that. What's that like?
I don't know. We'll touch on that in a minute.
Wow.
When we pull up the transits, we'll dive into what that could be like. That's a transformation definitely between like probably spiritual connection. I mean, you're pretty young, Vilo, so you're what, 25? 24.
24.
Yeah, so you're 23 is a hard year. That's your second 12th house perfection year. So coming off of that is, a saving grace in itself, and Saturn's your ruling planet. So this is honestly is going to build up this year and next year. So much self-authority, so much ID about who you are and empowerment. And I think kind of rebuild the the emotional base for yourself as well. But the best way to create harmony is to be yourself, to believe in yourself, and to not like let go of your uniqueness, but just to relate the uniqueness and to kind of show the world you're here to, show strength and power, and in a way put yourself on a pedestal, because there could be a tendency with so much in Aquarius and so much in Libra with Mercury and the Sun and South Node Uranus Neptune and your South Node, of course, that you want things to be on an equal nature greatly. And I think you can put yourself last, and that won't make your moon feel good. Although usually people with a Leo moon are pretty generous and giving people. That only goes so far if you're not getting anything in return. So, remember that balance works both ways, give and take on both ends. And I think eventually when you define your own emotional boundaries in life, you'll find a ton of harmony, embrace your strength and your passions, and realize how to really aim that arrow when it comes to whether it's love life, relationships, passions in life, or even just feeling 100% yourself around everybody that you come into contact with.
And South
Do you have anything you want to say?
South Node's going to be on her Mercury in the 9th house. I mean, the Venus retrograde, she will feel that. Yeah, but I mean, all those planets in the 7th, I mean, relationships, Venus, Moon, and North Node, like, yeah, they're clearly in vertex. Like, it's 7th house is a big deal.
It is, and your moon's strong. I mean, it's the lord of your 7th in your 7th. So relationships have a strong, like, nurturing effect on you. And I think that you can be a great caregiver, but I think that you want to receive some caregiving too, and some attention as well. And I think that's part of it, is like really shining in yourself so that people do give you the attention and recognition that I think you deeply do want. But even Chiron in the 10th can be like a little shy in the public and not sure if it wants to get the recognition, but you're actually meant to get recognition. And that's one of your gifts, is when you take authority for yourself, you get recognition, and people will start to really pay attention to you. And even with, Pluto locked and loaded in your first house, this is a time where I think your personality is going to be extremely amplified and intensified. And even though it's on your Neptune, it can feel like maybe that's not the case right now or for the next couple years, but I would guarantee by your Saturn return, you are just going to be solid in who you are, and that's going to be a very positive. I mean, I shouldn't say a very positive Saturn return, but it could. Saturn often in a day chart, which your sun's in the top of the chart, often is a more fruitful Saturn return. So it definitely could be, and it is your chart ruler. and it also rules your second house. So I think that you're just going to really find your base, embrace your uniqueness. It could definitely help you get through some shy times, even though Saturn, when it does come for that Saturn return, is going to square your moon. It'll feel like it's kind of hard, and it might have to do with a relationship because the moon rules your seventh and your seventh, that something happens within a relationship that is this big grow up moment and realization of your power, your authority. And yeah, I mean, I think beliefs are important too. The North Node's ruled by the sun, disposited by it, I should say, and that's in Libra in the ninth. So pay attention, to what you believe about relationships and what you believe about creating harmonious situations in your life. And I think trusting your intuition and your heart is the most important thing. Because the South Node in Aquarius can be like ultra heady in a lot of ways and try to solve some really complicated equations. You don't need to when it comes to relationships. It's more of a feeling, more of a passion, more of like what the heart's saying, and even the intuition with the ninth house. Like, what do you feel like is really coming through that is a little non-linear? Because you can almost get a little single-minded, possibly, with South Node Uranus in the first about maybe some kind of like selfish behavior or only worrying about yourself, when really you're someone who's here to relate and give attention and receive a lot of attention too, and to be treated as such.
Yes.
With the transits, that Pluto coming towards your Neptune, I think is, quite a big deal.
That is like an awakening.
It definitely is. It can feel very...
It's life-changing.
It can potentially feel like the most extreme mix of intensity and also dreamy illusion. Yeah. Like, is this real? So it's kind of like this.
And it's her first house, so is she going to change her look?
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. I mean, honestly, ever since 2020, with everything that happened in her first house and everything that's happened in Capricorn since 2020, I wouldn't be surprised to change her look a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to, I think, keep changing. Even when Pluto gets to around your South Node, like, that's probably when you're going to really embrace a unique look for yourself.
And she's coming into her Jupiter return, like, soon.
Yeah, May. Gosh, that'll be, like, end of May.
Yeah.
So, and North Node on Jupiter. So, I mean, this could be a pretty, like, positive time, I think, for your self-expression, what you're learning, the information you're taking in, any ways that you can communicate, what your values are, what you want. It's very important. You might be finding your voice right now, maybe more so than before. Like, finding a voice, finding potentially like the right groups too. Jupiter is a ruler of your 11th house, so you might be finding people that you really maybe feel like you fit in with when maybe you didn't feel like you were fitting in much before, but it's almost kind of amplifying that. So there could be some really good dialogue and communication, hopefully with people when that comes around. It's also a 12th house ruler, so, and with Pluto, with Neptune, yeah, I mean, I would say, like, I mean, you're already watching astrology, and you're definitely, like, not asleep, right? I feel like, but there's more waking up to do, and I think that's like something
Pluto
to expect.
Neptune,
but it might not be like a wake up in like a crazy like pineal, like drift off way, but a more grounded way. And I think that's like the important part, because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and that's intercepted in your second, and Saturn's going to be in your second, going through these retrogrades as well. So I think that there is this level too of like this confidence boost that's trying to be built right now, which could feel a little challenging at times. But every time you take that challenge and like boost your confidence, the connections made, the way that you feel, your expression, all these things are trying to grow exponentially right now. And the lunar eclipse is going to square your moon and be opposing your Saturn. It's going to be in your 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have like a serious job or anything in your life right now, but the 10th house is that that energy of, careers and what you do. And lunar eclipses are usually a big release point. Full moons are always sort of a peak out of energy, and eclipses are just amplified, of course. They're full moons on steroids.
Yeah.
So it's definitely potential, and Saturn also being that kind of, what you want to be dedicated to, what you think your purpose is. It's like right in the mix in opposition. So there could be some, questions coming up internally for you about what you really want to do in this reality. What do you feel your purpose is? And if you feel like you're on the right track for that. And if not, it'll probably surely be released over the next 6 months to kind of get you back into alignment. And also the square to your moon doesn't make anything, I guess, more comfortable, right? Because, again, you could deal with relationships. It could, heavily. Your moon's in the 7th, Lord of the 7th, so could very, heavily be involved if you're seeing anybody right now, or if you want to be in a relationship, certain things that you have to do, how to express yourself more and be seen more also. So it might be changing, again, I feel like you might be changing your look, getting ready to hopefully show yourself more and maybe get more authority in your life so that you feel more comfortable just being yourself, because I feel like you're a very unique person that's learning how to find structure in uniqueness and how to find authority in uniqueness. And I think that's a big part of your journey, which, you're pretty... I feel like everybody who hasn't had their Saturn return yet, I kind of feel like they're still youngsters. So, I mean, I don't mean to think you're definitely a grown woman at this point, but a lot of growing still to be done. And yeah, maybe I feel like this is like one of those tests this next 6 months especially, is like it's challenging your ideals, it's challenging your beliefs around probably people and situations and relationships. And the second house wants you to know that you can do it on your own too. So Saturn's down there like, hey, are you willing to handle business on your own? Can you create? Can you feel comfortable? Can you be secure, even if it's just by yourself? But I don't think that's the long-term picture. Even if you feel it now, you're more somebody that's here to be more of a leader in groups by kind of using your unique mind and your unique self to relate with others and empower.
True that.
You got anything you want to say?
No, I think you killed it, babe. No, I mean, lots. From 25 to 30.
Venus is going to retrograde on her vertex. So yeah, more of that 7th house stuff. Venus this summer is going to retrograde in your 7th. It's going to retrograde
on all of it. I mean, her and I have the same. Our nodes are conjunct.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Oh, thanks. Mm-hmm. What's your opinion on that vertex?
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I love the vertex and hearing people's experiences with it, because it's just like through clients, it's just such a...
It usually brings in a person, and Venus retrogrades have a weird way of bringing in the past situations too, so yeah. Very possible a past, romantic relationship
or past life
be something that comes up for you.
Yeah, and it's in the 7th house, so yeah, it's gonna be a person.
And if you're in a relationship, this could be an ex coming back to kind of like we were talking about with you and that thing on Instagram. But
oh yeah.
Nonetheless, there's some rebalancing that's gonna take place in your personal relationships, possibly romantic too.
I mean, listen, a Venus retrograde, from my personal experience and from asking clients and looking at their charts through Venus retrogrades and through friends and everything, I mean, especially, God, that Venus retrograde in Gemini, oh my gosh. And that was during the spell, so that really severed a lot of relationships. But even the Venus and Capricorn one, right? Because there hasn't been one since Venus Capricorn last January or December. It was 2021.
It wasn't 2021.
It was 2021 to 2022. Yeah, I mean, if it's not in alignment, I don't ever see it come out
Very
stronger.
true.
I don't see it come out stronger. It severs whatever is not meant to be there. No, don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, sure, we can all hold on, but then usually by, I don't know, the next Venus retrograde. I don't know. I loved that Venus retrograde in Capricorn. That one was solid for me. The one in Gemini, I wasn't in a relationship, so I just saw everybody else like going. That one was wild. I mean, it's Gemini, and it was, So, who knows? Leo, there hasn't been. This is like rare, right?
Yeah, I have a story about the 2020 Venus retrograde. I started dating like for the first time after my last divorce, and the girl wanted to like. She was like, we're like dating, right?" And I was like, "Well, if you want to put a title to it, like we can, but when we ID it as that, Venus just went retrograde 3 days ago, and that's not like ideal for this relationship."
Did she even know what the hell you were talking about?
No, she was like, "You really think that's true?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I do." And she's like, "So what? Let's just try it." I was like, "Okay." Sure enough, that
but
didn't
then
last
she
long.
could sit there and say that maybe because you manifested it like that
Oh, I don't
for
know.
it to not be good.
But anyways,
It was rough.
it wasn't rough. It just fizzled,
Yeah,
and it might have fizzled anyways.
Oh, right.
It doesn't necessarily matter. But
Yeah.
the point is, it got ID'd on that day as the relationship, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
It got the stamp of approval.
Moral of the story is it's not ideal to take on a new relationship during a Venus retrograde either. That's the moral
Was
of the
it
story.
the person that got you your little...
She made it for me.
Oh, wow. And it didn't even last through that? God, she made you that. And that's one of your favorite pendants.
It is my favorite pendant.
Yeah. Thank God I'm
I
not
love
crazy to be like, you're not wearing that shit ever again.
Yeah, thank God. All right. Lesley. I think we spelled your name wrong again. I'm sorry. Pretty sure you're here.
Yeah, Lesley is here. Lesley K. There she... Yeah, Lesley. There she's the one... She suggested Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
Does this all look correct, Lesley? December 2nd, 1966, 1:21 a.m., Akron, Ohio. Yeah, you manifested a gift at least. A handmade gift. Yes, Leslie's here. All right. I've seen so many, right? Virgo rising, yeah. Yeah. I always get so... Yeah, what degree?
Guess.
2.
No.
Late degree.
These are the degrees of the cusps.
25. Yeah, well, so Lesley, fuck, Neptune in the 7th is a 1:21 a.m., 12:266. 12:266 and 1:21 a.m. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, what the Neptune, the 7th house for Virgo risings has been,
Kind of.
relationships.
In her natal chart, she just had Neptune go into her 7th. Because her 7th house cusp starts at 25
because she's so
degrees.
late on it. Oh.
But from a whole sign perspective, yes, it has been there. So it'd be interesting to know, and just ask you this question while we're here. Would you say that the last 10 years have felt more weird with relationships, or have they been more a little, I don't want to say like spacey in reality, but
Rose-colored lens.
kind of like maybe not paying as much attention as maybe you're used to as a Virgo rising in terms of like what you're doing every day, what you're putting in your body, or maybe there was a more enlightened kind of Neptune that kind of came through your 6th and kind of like was bringing up more health stuff. It'd be interesting.
Said yes. Just Yes.
Yes.
It's all, yeah.
Anyway.
And does she had, yeah, see, Saturn's going to be on your vertex too. That's going to be something.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
another Leo moon.
Oh, yeah, passion.
You got Pluto opposing your moon. Fun stuff.
Yeah, double. Oh, you're double Leo moon. Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
Leo.
So opposite Pluto, opposite the moon. How? Yeah, in the 11th. So people.
See you later, path traveler. This relationship got crazy 7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I guess think relationship got crazy. Are you still in this relationship? 222. I see 222. Changed. No. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, well, at least thank God it was 7 years ago, so that, you've obviously transformed and changed a lot since then. But yeah, Pluto opposite your moon, that's a big one. That is a big one.
That is a big one.
And she's North Node Taurus.
Yeah, nodal return. Pluto in the 12th. Pluto Atlantis. A very mystical creature, Lesley.
Pluto in
Might not feel like that at times. Pluto in the 12th can be a hard one at times because it always feels like life's like you're on a precipice and you need to jump into the unknown. But it's not very safe in the unknown because you don't know what's there, so you kind of resort back to the known. And then the world and life will throw some cataclysmic event at you to like remember that it's okay to have faith in the unknown.
Yeah,
and
she says
the universe will always catch you.
Of course.
But yeah, you definitely see things. You probably have extreme dreams, visions, encounters, like very, very psychically attuned. Very with Pluto in the 12th.
Yeah.
But it brings these weird challenges in life so that you remember your faith. And then like do something about it in reality. So instead of also maybe being just behind the scenes, now you're kind of meant to incorporate yourself into the world. And you have a lot of 6th house, Saturn's there, Chiron's there. You have Saturn, Chiron opposite your Pluto. So I think a lot of it's like responsibility, upkeep, paying attention, because it's possible you're so mystical and have so many visions.
She says encounters, which, I mean, listen, Pluto in the 12th, and hopefully it's not like, you absolutely are fucking channeling.
Oh,
you
100%.
are...
You could get lost in that world. That's the thing. Part of you could actually just want to continuously like merge.
Whether that's like people
that
wanting
way
to bring...
with the spirit world, with Source, with all these, sort of non-physical elements of life. In the 6th house is like opposing all of that. Like you gotta bring it all to reality.
And that fear, you've got to control
do something.
The fear.
It's almost like you have to do something with your visions. Mm-hmm. If you just let the visions, what you see, if you just pretend that they don't mean anything, I feel like you're doing yourself a huge disservice because they do mean so much. And it might feel a little scary at times.
It's like out of the body.
To embrace that, but that's where you'll really shine. You can have your North Node in the 8th.
Yeah.
Is like anything that's like deep and mystical or spiritual or healing or even reading people or...
That's why I was like, you should always be trusting your intuition.
Yeah, it's...
Like, there should be no rose-colored lenses. I mean, you are seeing beyond our veil. Like, you would be in the show we watch, Ghost Adventures. You can see, like, third or second sight, but beyond. So, I think that when you embrace that as a gift and you're not, scared of it, because I'm sure a lot of people that have this that don't or are not even into astrology and don't understand what they're like seeing, because I mean there could be like, like loved ones or other people's loved ones. This is like medium shit. Pluto in the 12th is like medium, like they're coming to you, whether that has happened or not, but that is, yeah. And then is that Uranus that's there too?
Noticed at age 5. Yeah, I think it's like taking all of it, whether it's like intense or wild, and like I think you could have a natural ability to feel kind of comfortable in that because the
Yeah.
South Node's in Scorpio in the second, so you could feel very comfortable in that. I think it's like using it
To help people.
to help, yeah, exactly, to help people, to kind of like bring a sense of beauty from the other side to this side, whether it's through seeing pretty intense situations that you see or feel, but there's always like a way to transform it into like the other polarity. And that's even what I think all the Pisces is in your 6th house too, is it's like,
Yeah.
it's a more like unconditional reality because you can see everything so well. You're kind of a natural at that.
I mean, you're clairvoyant.
Yeah, and Moon Jupiter in Leo and in the 11th house, like that's a great aspect to have. I know it's getting beaten up by Pluto right now, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. But that's like very beneficial. I feel like that brings like really good friendship, sort of karma and situations into your life. I think usually people, especially Jupiter and the Moon, like it's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like people just want to see you
It's
succeed.
a very jovial and fun-loving energy.
Yeah, it's like bringing that, like the happiness out, just showing everything, whether it's the dark, the light, bringing it into the reality,
Yeah.
showing it off. It's like, not only does I think it amplify your sense of self and courage to feel like safe and strong in that, but I think it does help other people a lot.
Yeah.
You also have karma with your Jupiter too, and you're a Sag. Yeah, I would say that you probably know a lot. It kind of speaks to the visions and stuff. It's probably not even like other things coming to you. It's probably just
You
other
definitely
versions
have
of
like
yourself.
witchy like vibes, but like
And
in
Uranus
the
on the
best
ascendant.
way because it's Virgo. So I mean, you are a healer, an earth like angel, earth healer. I mean, you got is that Merlin? No, where's Merlin? No, he's in the 6th. What is that glyph? Oh, Lucy. Yeah. You're.
Oh yeah, Lucifer, Uranus, Mars, Pluto.
Yeah, you're.
That Mars on the ascendant is really strong. I mean, I think that I feel like you have a very strong personality. I feel like you're kind of a trendsetter.
Probably intense.
Probably very passionate, especially when you're like doing the real stuff. When you kind of like, even like Virgo kind of wants to get its hands dirty a little bit. Like when you're like putting in effort, putting in work, but doing it your way and kind of the channeled version of it that maybe other people might think is weird or something, but it's what makes you happy and feels like yourself. These are all great things.
Yeah, I mean, this is an exciting chart. Like, this is like, I don't know. This is like a chart I can like channel or something because you're like, I mean, Sun, Mercury, and Sag in the 3rd. Like, she's. What do you do, Lesley? What is your occupation? I mean, is it like maybe this part of your life you just be the Long Island medium recruiter? Yeah, because you can probably intuitively know, boom, 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 who to,
Oh, Josie and Lesley know each other.
Oh, they do. Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you, Lesley, by chance, like, did you have a good relationship with both your parents?
She says no, we don't. She's just commenting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what it. Did she have a good relationship with him?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you might have a good relationship with your mother because the Moon and Jupiter are together. So I feel like Mom was probably someone beneficial. Often that's the case. But Uranus in the 12th opposite Saturn makes me wonder if there was one parent that didn't maybe want to have the child when you were born? Oh, ask again. Did you have a good relationship with your parents?
With your mother, but maybe
I
opposition
would
with your
guess
father?
I would guess looking at your chart, I feel like there was a good relationship with mother, bad relationship with father.
She's saying... Oh.
Or possibly no relationship with father.
She says, OMG, okay, one parent.
Dad, no.
Dad, no.
I knew
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well.
All right. Well, it's kind of, I guess, meant to be that way. Dad probably didn't want to be in the picture, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, I mean, that's part of the karma, you know?
Yeah.
And
but
so,
mom
thank
probably
gosh you
held
have
it
a
down.
good relationship, yeah, with your mom. And in the 11th, like, that's, God, Jupiter and Moon in the 11th, that is, like, that's good energy. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you've been in your nodal return, so you've done a lot of healing, Lesley. Like, obviously.
Yeah, just having Uranus on your North Node, like, it's been a very in-depth time, and I think it's gotten you closer to the really deep internal workings of yourself that are really, like, trying to come out and be real and like, show all that depth because it's valuable. Like, your depth is valuable, and you just had a solar eclipse in your 8th, so a lot of this transformation is really for you, I think, showing the depth of value that your soul really has and how it can connect and empower not only yourself but other people. I feel like you have a very you're here to be a very magnetic person, and you probably are, and probably someone that's meant to do, I mean, whether it's like a profession or not, like some kind of healing work, and maybe that's just through you being you, that people are kind of inspired to maybe be free, like the Sag, you know. And a recruiter, a communicator, getting people to...
Yeah. And probably intuitively, like, knows how. Like, just knowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, oh, yeah. No. That's good. But, yeah, thank you, Lesley. You have a very, like, you are very, very, very... I mean, you're a medium.
Oh, Virgo taking over. Yeah, I feel like that's your Pluto polarity point too, going to the 6th.
Yeah.
Is like things are kind of getting more in order for you. Like they were going to at some point. It like could have been kind of scattered, a little all over the place. Dreamy in some ways, but it's getting more real now, and especially coming into your 2nd Saturn return. I feel like it's like bringing out another level of like confidence to build your reality in a dreamy way, in a very connected way, in your own way. But yeah, it's more put together, I would say, at this point. And Saturn's going to square your sun before it goes retrograde. So, you know, this year's going to be, and into next year, you know, you're going to deal with a lot of Saturn squares and a Saturn return. You're in the process of that. It's very Saturn. I think for you, it's just kind of getting things in order. It's consolidation, and I think getting like reality in alignment with your spiritual world. You know, a lot of the mystical qualities you have, and like more of a incorporation into reality with it.
Love it.
Oh yeah, and the lunar eclipse is gonna be right on your South Node, and with your Mercury in your 2nd. I mean, I feel like you're always meant to kind of push yourself out of comfort zones, and I feel like this is just another one of those times where, like, if things start to feel too comfortable, there's something wrong right now. Like, you're kind of meant to put in some effort somewhere, try, like, kind of make changes. It is like a time of, like, don't stay stagnant.
Yeah.
If you stay stagnant too long, you'll probably just get bored, for one. I feel like you wouldn't even like it.
Yeah.
And I don't think things have to be like crazy in a crazy way, but like little changes could go a long way, especially if they're changes that you feel like are truly just an expression of your happiness.
Yeah.
And do you have any grandkids, Lesley? because your Saturn return in your 5th, or it's in your 6th, but it's your 5th house ruler. Yes. It's possible you might be spending more time with grandkids. Maybe
that's
like
positive.
Babysitting, whatever it is. Maybe taking care, especially with Pluto now in your 5th. Like maybe like that's something that, and that would just light your Leo moon and Jupiter up. You're probably such a fun grandma.
Oh, like Pluto just moved into her 5th?
Not just, but yes.
Oh yeah,
over the last 2 years. But it's also Saturn return, and Saturn rules the 5th. So I feel like yeah, it's possible.
Oh, nice. She's master grandma.
Yeah. It's
so
probably more kid,
good.
Grandkid time,
energy.
Fun, teaching.
Yeah.
It just might be a little bit different than maybe what you've been doing for a while.
But I think that's going to be good too, because like that will help
with
all that yeah. And like I feel like you love kids, so I mean that'll just be like, that'll soften. They'll read tarot cards. Cool. I love it. I could only imagine, like, you should be like, I mean,
you're a great teacher.
You are a reader. You are a medium. You are channeling. So however, whether that is just for you or you decide to help others with that, or who knows, 5th house Pluto, you might start your own channel, Lesley. Like, who knows? But I just, like, you have a lot of very healing, especially that it's all in Virgo in the 12th, so healing. And you just, like, it's Virgo, right? Penetrate, but like you.
I think between getting more into your Virgo right now, like, this is more of just like a time, I feel like, where you're seeing things very, very, very clearly.
Yes.
And I think
there's clarity.
This is where you're merging with the transformation of seeing the clarity so that you can bring more excitement or fun into your life.
Yeah.
And just kind of merge with maybe passions at this time of your life and what you can be amplified there. And like kind of leaving some, I mean, it's almost like there's some stagnant energy that just needs to be polished up a little bit.
Yeah, like transmuted, like.
And again, your moon is very strong. It's the lord of your 11th house. It's there with Jupiter, and it's getting that opposition to Pluto, which is a huge deal. I mean, this is also like bringing out more creativity and more uniqueness, more inventive ideas. Maybe you're going to make up some games for the kids. I don't know, but this is like everything kind of comes down to you inventing more.
You guys need to go on some ghost hunts.
Happiness, possibly family time. There could be something that happens with family. Potentially, Pluto can do a lot. But I think that overall, like, there's a part of your life that's just trying to go through a big transformation right now. It could be what you're sharing with the general public, all the way to just your family. But I think a lot of your like creative self-expression wants to come out in a more everybody gets a piece of it kind of way. The South Node Scorpio makes you want to escape. It's probably Pluto in your 12th and Uranus in your 12th. I think the South Node in your 2nd. Usually Scorpio's not like a very escaping type of energy. It's like a all in or nothing kind of energy. So for you, with a South Node Scorpio, I would say there could be such a desire to have somebody else around and to bring some sense of security to your life, or to really like it could be possibly obsessive over money, over some kind of like physical thing, but also like it's an emotional attachment to physical life, that there's like a switch to the 8th house where it's like, okay, value and physical is important, North Node Taurus and the touch, but it's like learning, I think, when to like shut it off and be like no or yes or no. So anyways, I hope that's helpful.
Thank you, Lesley. You are magical AF. You really are.
Cody.
Oh, yeah,
good friend
Cody. I'm like, May 30th, 1992. Well, we know this is right. Yes, thank you, Lesley. Much love, magic, and blessings to you. Send all your good juju this way. And that Brian will have a raven on his...
Raven. Edgar.
Yeah, Edgar. Channel Edgar to be Brian's buddy.
Yeah, I want that raven to move in with us. Tell him.
Yeah, he is. We can't keep him. I don't want to keep any animal chained up.
No, he's not going to be chained up, but he has to come in and hang out. I'm setting the rules.
We're going to have to get him vaccinated.
No, he can be natural. Natural raven.
Yeah, it was probably Edgar, Lesley. Yeah, he's going through many timelines and worlds. That's why Brian's never seen him. He's visiting Lesley.
I'm going to want my raven back, Lesley.
Yeah. All right, Cody.
All right, Cody. Well, we've definitely talked with you a little bit about your chart.
Yeah,
recently.
just tell the viewers.
We just hung out with you, which was fun. It was great to hang out with you.
Yeah. Bowling.
Cody's a good bowler.
Mm-hmm.
He got warmed up by the third round. He was knocking him down.
You guys were just getting wild.
Yeah. All right, Cody.
So, right. Gemini, Saturn squaring all that shit. Take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
Geminis, Virgos, Sag, and Pisces. Saturn is here for 2.5 years. So, right, just got to go through these initiations. I'm part of it. So, I feel ya.
Yeah. Well, I think you have so much Gemini. It's in the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Gemini's intercepted in your 12th. The 12th house is it's not like an easy place to have all of that energy for you. And especially as a Cancer rising, you can get like really hung up in your mind. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. It's just like a subconscious loophole and there's no reality to it. So it's learning, I think, too, to get into your Cancer, to get into trusting your intuition. And then things will come and they'll make sense. But like trying to always process information can be a spiral. And it can take you down. And it can get you kind of, in a place, it can feel very dark in the 12th, just because there's no light. Not necessarily that there's like ghouls coming after you, but it can feel like things are very, like there's nothing. It's like an abyss. So you have to, I think, learn to express such a depth of creativity that your soul does have and make it real. Your South Node's in the 12th, your North Node's in the 6th. It's at 0 Capricorn, 0 Cancer. You have to make it real. If you want something to come true, you have to put a lot of effort in. And effort is like the key. And that's even with this Saturn square that you're going to be feeling for a while. It's like you want dreams to come true. You want something to manifest from your intuition, from your vision, your ideals, the way you might see things. It just takes work, and it's like you can't be lazy at all. And I'm not saying you're lazy, brother, but that North Node at 0 Cap is definitely like you gotta stay on it and dedicated, and things take time and they take effort. And in the 6th house, it's just more time and effort, right, and reorganizing and getting, again, not lost in fantasy in your mind that just feels like it's this constant loop, but really like taking the mind that's working all the time and really start like trying different things that are going through your mind. Mm-hmm. Everything that you take from your feelings or your subconscious and you put physical effort to could have massive fruition.
Even writing or journaling or
and
anything.
Harvest, and they can harvest for you, and it can help you provide a service. I do believe that's exactly what you want to do, is be of service to the collective. I think you could be great at it, but you have to find, I think, the confidence in yourself at the same time.
No, trusting and believing that.
Yeah, and it's through like repetition, I feel like. The more you work on something, the more confident you'll be. And the more that, and I think it is beliefs, because Sag is intercepted in your 6th too. So like, you have to take your beliefs and put them to real use. Like when you have like, what's your story? We'll start writing it. You have to kind of like just grind it out if you want things to change, and if you want to purify your life, and if you want to be of service to others.
Right.
And
writing it down, like literally getting that mental, like, I feel like that's just like important for Geminis in general. It's like a release. Like I think writing, I don't like journaling, pen to paper. I'm a pen to paper old school, because it's like doing that is a release. Like not fucking in the phone or on the typewriter or the keyboard, literally like writing it down. It's like getting it, purging it, and also but manifesting it,
Yeah, bro, you got Jupiter in the 3rd. That's
like,
a great place for writers.
It's such a
even though Jupiter doesn't love the 3rd, and it doesn't necessarily love to be in Virgo by any means either, but when you take the time to like put in the effort to put your visions, or to put your creativity, all these big ideas on paper, they have a better chance of manifesting. Maybe even a vision board, just something.
But you don't know where to begin, because the mind literally paralyzes you. Your mind paralyzes you. Because he's like, I feel all of that, but it's like, I don't know where to begin. I feel like that is a Virgo rising.
Is to start.
Yeah, right. It is paralyzing.
Your Chariot rising, bro. Cancer rising. The only way to do it is to get the intuitive impulse and go.
Because there's so much mental, like, there's so much going on that it feels like paralyzing. Then it turns in, like, manifests into anxiety, right? And like, it's overwhelming. But it's like, that's why I literally say, like, people might think that like vision boards or writing and all that is like ridiculous, but it's like
it could be for some people, but for some people it's not.
But just like even if it's fucking scribble, I don't know, like what that fucking medium guy does. Like, are you fucking kidding me? He's just like,
it's like intuitive channeled writing.
Yes, like it's just getting it. It's like, because then you might be like, wow, I'm fucking good at expressing like people. People always say, like, when I write like something to them or whatever, they're like, God, I feel like I'm way better on paper than I am in person or the camera.
Yeah, I have Jupiter in my 3rd house also, and whenever I would write horoscopes, people really liked them. I don't really enjoy writing. I'll be completely honest with you. It's not something I like to do. That's why I do video horoscopes.
Right, North Node Aquarius.
So I do video horoscopes, to be honest. But there's something about the
like
Jupiter in the 3rd can express a lot of wisdom through written word, and also when you narrow things down, your wisdom comes out too. So when you can find like the shortened version of any situation to express yourself, that's like the best way. Sometimes less is more. So that's like a Jupiter 3rd house thing, especially in Virgo. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
And that's a hard one to learn from time to time. But again, Jupiter's making good aspects to your nodes.
Yeah.
Jupiter is like, it wants to help you. And I know you don't have like the strongest Jupiter in the world, but it can be a great gift when you do put the effort into your Jupiter. When you put it into like how to express yourself and just how to communicate and how to like talk to people. And you're a Gemini, and I know it's intercepted in your 12th, but like you're here to be a communicator. Your Sun Aldebaran, Mercury Aldebaran, and I know again your Mercury and Sun are conjunct. That can be a combustion. Even Venus is within 5 degrees. That can be considered combust. So, Jupiter combust can be an interesting thing. It can manifest into being such a powerful expression through your word, through writing. But it can also be it can feel like it's non-existent. The 12th house can be a shy place. Your moon square Saturn, it brings out a level of shyness, of not wanting to fully bring out your values or the uniqueness within you, or your vulnerabilities, and Saturn in the 8th can kind of restrict you from this too. But again, these are things that you're here to work on so that you can really like bring it out, you know, hit with the truth. You're here to deliver truth. 100%. And you have your part of fortune in Gemini, and like we talked about this when we met, like that's outstanding to have for astrologers. It's a really, really good placement for astrologers. You even have the asteroid Urania, which is pretty close to your ascendant or your descendant. So I think too, like astrology is something I think you could be a natural at. You just need to keep at it, and I think build your confidence. And the more you build your confidence and stay dedicated to the practice of it or relating it with other people, the better and better and better you're going to be. And that'll help you deliver your messages quicker. It'll help you express yourself in a more consolidated but powerful way. You know, you have a great Mars. I think your Mars is a very, you know, potent part in your chart, 10th house in Aries. Like, you're lucky to have that Mars because that Mars keeps you going no matter how hard things might get or how, you know, whatever. Like, that Mars is a warrior, right? So you have that warrior quality that does want to go put its energy towards something. It wants to be known for something. It wants to go after. It just has these passionate desires to create something substantial in its life, and it's here to do that. So I think once you really start bringing out the depth, when you get, you know, more comfortable with your own darkness and can express certain areas of life and just really stay on it for something, and to not give up or to not let go too quickly, or to feel like everything that you might idolize or hope or wish for is so far from you, but to think that they're actually much, much closer to you can be very helpful. And
absolutely.
Yeah, Venus-Jupiter square. I mean, I feel like that's either like...
Venus-Jupiter, what? Oh, my friends with Jupiter-Venus squares, they want it all. No, oh my gosh, it's like that push and pull of like, to me, it's like an angel and a devil.
They want it all.
It is.
But again, like the benefic planets are not like planets that, you know, keep us after something. They're a little lazy. So it's almost like wanting things to come, wanting things,
it can
wanting
be
things,
like
but not
slothful
like,
energy.
But not really like staying dedicated. And I do think that's why, you know, Saturn in the 8th, like deep, passionate self-authority for what you want, your uniqueness, North Node Capricorn, 6th house. You just got to stay on things and make them real. And if they're not real, you have to work and achieve them, and then you can have big things, and you can, you know, express so much of. I think there's a hidden quality to you that might need to be worked on right now with Saturn making all these squares. Because Saturn's going to station, you know, 9 degrees, squaring your Sun and your Mercury. Like, you're in a nice little 18 months right now with Saturn squaring all your planets. Square your Venus right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the moment.
Awesome.
This is Saturn trying to kick your butt into shape and say, you got to go get it. You got to go relate to people. You got to go build relationships. You got to communicate. Like, you can't hide away. You got to, you know, if you're just going to block yourself.
And doing that at the metaphysical shop, like maybe that's like the baby step, like the first step.
You got an interview at metaphysical shop?
Yeah, to like, right? Like, it's just.
We talked about that. Yeah. Congratulations, brother.
So it's like once you, right, it gets the.
Congratulations.
Ball roll. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not, it doesn't need to be all this grandiose thing at once. It just needs to be, right? Like, that could set you on the path.
100%.
And it's just like, it's fucking North Node Taurus, slow and steady. The North Node is trining your North Node in the 6th. Like, that is positive. So just because of all of these squares and all these, you know, which wants you to take action, you do have divine support. I mean, you always do, but like,
squares aren't a bad thing.
No.
They just want you to, it's just that time where you got to do something. Like, it's forcing, like, that's why it's uncomfortable and people can say they suck, but it's always trying to get you moving. Get
and
things
squares
going.
Can even be passionate.
Very Mars energy. so it can feel abrasive and a little harsh, but once identified and used, squares can be some of the most prominent life-changing moments in our lives for the better. So there's definitely that. And
but it's like already just like one step, 1 foot into where you are manifesting, and like I said, then that builds your confidence in you. I mean, we're confident in you, but it doesn't matter what anybody, that's the thing. It's like, in the beliefs and all of that, it's like, this is us coming into our true selves, but trusting that, because for 30 years, you've been 3D Cody, and so now you're 5D's coming online, and it's, it's exciting, and it's just, you probably feel like all this passion and desire, and and so it's like, fucking manifest, but it is. Like, it totally is, and it will just keep,
And don't let Chiron discourage you either.
Yeah.
Up there on your Mars and your 10th. Like, don't let, some kind of self-doubt stop you from accomplishments and things you want to do in life. Like, this is your chance to really empower yourself and heal and realize that you have a unique quality to share with the world, that you have, something special inside of you that needs to be shown and acted upon. And, like, just, again, don't give up. Don't quit.
Right.
And that eclipse was also in your 11th house. So much of this is about getting back into the world, being with people, not isolating yourself.
Yeah, and being guided, you guiding yourself, like you are being guided to the right situations and people and, all of that, but you're also guiding yourself. So it's like, yeah.
Pluto's in your 8th. Like, this is where I think some of your best qualities of your metaphysical gifts are going to start to emerge. What in astrology.
Yeah.
The deeper layers of reality, the deeper archetypes that we all live by. Like, these are the things right now that they all need to come out. Like, you don't want to suppress what you know. You don't want to suppress the depth of who you are either. And, this is your time to really empower yourself and realize that the big healing is happening right now. And it's really trying to get you back to a place where you can reinvent yourself and your reality and really find the groups that you're meant to be around.
And don't you think that when you first started doing, like, I mean, listen, we all...
Oh my God, it's so... it's like, it's embarrassing.
It's
first
just
times, it's nervous, it's intimidating.
Like, are they going to resonate? Even though they will, but it's like, it's more so... Then if you think about it, it's like, they're reaching out to you. They have no fucking idea, right? And it's like, we get all in this mental, like... It's crazy, and then it's like, do you think that 3 years ago that you would have, been at high vibe and fucking don't trip and all these fucking, like, but you were like subconsciously like you were manifesting it,
Yeah, it's kind of weird for me because I kind of just knew that I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And people thought I was crazy and I didn't listen.
Of course.
And I didn't listen and I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. And it just started working really fast. So I got lucky, I guess, or it was just meant to be,
all that
however you want to look at it.
Capricorn transformation on all that shit.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was like, it wasn't like a cocky moment for me. Like, there were moments, I remember when I first started doing readings, I was like, it felt like the most awkward thing in the world. Like,
of course.
Okay, and after like 50, that goes away, and you'll go through 50 quick.
And it's just like you're guided to the people. I mean, if both of us never like got, we're on our true path, we would have never met.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was like, I had a full on like ritual before every reading with a client. I was like nervous, so I would like sage my room and like say a prayer, and I'm not saying that maybe I shouldn't still do that, but I got to a point where I was just so comfortable that I could be
Right.
running back from the grocery store late and like 5 minutes of a reading, turn on the computer and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're getting down to business. Here we are. So you
Yeah.
just kind of reach a point where it becomes like second nature to kind of jump in there.
Exactly.
And I think that's what you're building up this great confidence for. And there could be so many things that you could try and trick yourself and not like stay on it or stay confident. And like that's Chiron trying to stall you out here.
Right.
And it's Saturn with the squares trying to stall you out when really it's just like the real message is don't you dare stop.
Right. Yeah. No. You just push like Seabiscuit going out of the gate and say that one. Like
I kind of want to put Cody on blast and be like, yo, anybody in this chat, hit him up for reading. He's not on social media, but hit me up. I'll give you his number.
Yeah. Cody's
let's
very...
go, Cody. Like, let's go.
I know, like so many people that have such this gift of astrology, but just like not only just the astrology, but like can look at a chart and it speaks to them. It's their language. They know also how to work with people. And it's just like, it's just that energy exchange. And then also it's like you're gaining your soul family and that energy. And it's just like, and it does. And it all takes time, but it all,
You got Merlin on your Mercury, bro.
Yeah.
It's your time to start expressing the magic and the alchemy and all the things that your soul knows, and to stop doubting or questioning it because maybe it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense when you stop thinking about it and just say it,
Well, and it makes sense, so who cares what anybody else thinks? I mean, they're, 3D life. It's like we're not here to convince anybody. So, yeah, no. And I just think that's great, right? Like, just getting in the door, and we had talked about this, and it's manifesting, and you got it. You got it.
And congratulations on your interview.
Yes.
You're going to do great.
You got it. Like, you got it. 100. Now I need to go get something else. God, I get up so much, but I think... Do I have restless Pisces leg syndrome?
Yeah, you got restless fin syndrome.
Do I have mermaid fin syndrome?
Is Sabrina with us? You're welcome, bro. I know you do. It's time. It's time. Thanks, man. We love you, dude. Keep going. I know sometimes it feels like it could always get worse, but it can always get better. So it's important, I think, to remember and have faith too that everything can get better, and it's like the effort that you put into that like really will show up. All right. Well, I don't think Sabrina's here. So, hopefully the chart's correct. Third house. North node on the first. Another North Node Cappy.
Who, me?
You're not North Node Cap. Pluto in the... Oh, Badr won't be here. He is coming up. He is on the list.
Okay.
All right. So... I think, you're another one, Sabrina, that does have an immense amount of knowing, and somebody that's just, as a soul, gone through and, like, really found out what, like, the higher purpose was, what these, big natural laws were, the ins and outs of, like, faith, and it's time to use that faith, but, like, learning how to communicate and express it with others, and to not be, so one-sided on any situation, but to be very, as a Pisces, very unconditional, empathetic, express in a soft manner. When you can express like your deep truth, softly, and you are Mercury retrograde, that can help with the softness, even in Pisces, of course. But it can also, make you feel like your mind's working a little bit slower, being combust with the sun and coming off a Kazemi. When really it's just thinking differently. Your mind doesn't work in a linear fashion, especially in Pisces and retrograde. It's way more connected to the universe. It's way more connected to everything that is. And I think it's learning how to bring it. This life is taking all that you know and bringing it into a consolidated form and finding the way to express it and identify with it and be able to go back and forth, debate situations. But with the North Node in your first house and the South Node in your seventh, it can be easy to always be in limbo, or in some kind of a debate or conversation about something. But you really do want to dedicate yourself to what it is that you believe in, and understand that again, not everybody's going to agree with you, and you might want people to agree with you so desperately in some fashion, and it can be almost emotionally difficult when you feel like the debate doesn't come to a harmonious resolution. But sometimes it's not meant to, right? Sometimes you just have to learn that when you dedicate to what you know is your truth and what's right, and you express it, and you kind of stay on your grind, stay on your on your game for what it is that you want to identify with as your big thing in life, you can make it the big thing in life. And really learn to find, I think, a lot of self-authority as well. You're a Sag rising with Pluto in the ninth. Oh man, I feel like
she has a lot of Leo moons tonight.
Yeah, a lot of Leo moons. I feel like you probably are a natural traveler in a sense, and that's good. But I feel like you're meant to be a some kind of a teacher. Even with your South Node in Cancer, you have a really amazing quality about you to find natural peacemaking. Even if you might know what you know, and you might think other people are ridiculous for not knowing, I think there is still a level to you that kind of just really does want to nurture people along. You got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself too. That sure is Neptune.
Oh wow, Neptune in the 12th. Well, that's
Neptune in the 12th.
Definitely channeling too.
That is definitely channeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Sabrina is a very, very, very intuitive soul that's, I think, learning how to structure her words and structure the way she expresses her knowing in a way that is dialed. And I think that can be a little bit difficult, but definitely not something out of reach at all.
And maybe her Pandora and Mercury conjunct exactly. Maybe Pandora is just opening up that.
I know, it's the mind is the.
Yeah,
it
in
is
the
box.
third.
Her mind is Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways here. It's so intuitively inclined that it's almost like she knows a language that. How do you translate that language that you know into English or whatever language you speak,
Yeah.
Sometimes it can feel hard. It can feel like you can't find the right word to express yourself. And that's part of this, journey is to, find out exactly kind of who you are, what you want, and how to shorten things up to make sense, to be clear, to be kind of precise, and this is what I'm doing, this is what I want. I understand balance, I understand harmony, and this is the only way to get it, by me taking authority in my life. And you have Mars in Capricorn, great placement for Mars in the first. The more you identify with your kind of dedicated nature and stay on things and really find your self-authority to be, whether it's a leader in life, to be a successful business person, whatever it is you want to do in life, the more effort you can put into that, the better and the more recognition you'll get, because you'll be recognizing yourself. Moon in the 8th, that can be a little challenging. It's in Leo. It definitely wants to express itself and be kind of a little bit more carefree and have fun and show it off, kind of wants to, usually a moon in Leo will want to show off the emotion,
Moon in
but the
eighth,
eighth
though,
house,
is emotional.
yeah, it's a deep, deep, deep emotion that
There
can
could be a lot of fear,
very,
too.
very triggered at the same time when it's not getting sort of the recognition that it might want.
Yeah.
Like, it's learning to be vulnerable too. So you have to like be vulnerable, when you speak up for yourself, when you speak, like it kind of leaves the door open in some sense for, possible attacks. I can't believe you believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe you feel that way. Whatever it is, these are situations that you grow deeply from, and you have to learn that everything does have an expiration date. That's kind of the term I like to use for the eighth house. And like the more easily you can let go of something and see like the bright sort of positive nature in your own self-growth from moving forward through situations or having a transformation take place in your life, the more you're expanding, the more you're kind of growing. And even Jupiter in Aquarius, it's opposite the moon. Like, yeah, I think that it is too embracing like your beliefs and your uniqueness and learning like the fine point between, again, like what other people believe and what you believe, and feeling comfortable in what you know. That's like the most important part, I think, for you, is really feeling comfortable in what you know. And I would say like Pluto's a big deal, over the next few years, because you do have Jupiter, and you've had Pluto on your North Node, on your Mars. I would say that like 2020 and 2019 were probably huge years for you, because it's in your first, maybe it definitely changed a part of the way you identify, possibly some family situations or just some deep emotional changes, and now it's coming towards your Jupiter, which is your chart ruler. So it's almost like Pluto's like ready over the next couple of years to like put the final transforming touch on sort of like your drive in life and like what gear are you shifting into.
Oh, she's got, what is, yeah,
possibly your look.
You
You might change your appearance. You might be, again, learning more value too, as Pluto comes into your second house to conjunct with that Jupiter. Like be having to like really dig deep to show who you are, because that moon in the eighth too can hide a lot. Even though there's so much light there with Leo and so much expression, it can almost want to keep it under wraps. Maybe because it doesn't want to rub other people the wrong way. So I think that you're in a place now where you can really like liberate your belief system.
She has a
to a way that
passionate
really
moon
like
in the
lifts
eighth.
you up and makes you feel strong. And possibly that changes your appearance. You might get a new hairstyle and do something a little different.
What else did I see? Yeah, Mars is on her south node right now. That is like past life relationships. South node, seventh house.
Yeah, she got Saturn square Venus also. Which is not an easy thing
Self-love,
for relationships, like, and self-love, learning. And it can be very like it can lower self-esteem at the same time. So it's like learning to really find, again, that authority in yourself. Yeah. It's also quincunx your North Node, rules your North Node. And then Venus sextiles that North Node. So I think that Venus, like when you really learn to like embrace your uniqueness, your mind, who you are, your emotions, all of these different layers, like you're going to come into like such a prominent place of value and self-worth. And Neptune's done with all its conjunctions to your stuff in Pisces. So I do feel like things could have been a little, I don't know, just more abstract than normal, or hard to know what's real and what's not real, even within your own mind, and possibly within the transformation that you're going through. But now you're like enlightened to these things, and you're seeing and thinking more clearly, hopefully, and you're in your Chiron return, so your healing has just gotten a bump, around your confidence. But it's also about knowing who you are, your drive, your message, You know, anytime you can speak up for yourself and say, yes, I do actually want to do that, or no, I do not want to do that, you're doing yourself huge, huge favors. And hopefully, you know, you feel like you have more authority than before, because Neptune on your sun can be very, you know, it can make you feel a little like lost. It can make you feel a little like your ego's a little bit dissolved, if you will.
Oh, where's her? Oh, at 24. Oh, I don't know. Neptune on my sun. Please come back.
It was so good.
Oh my God. Please come back. Yeah, I should have like really enjoyed that. I mean, I did enjoy it, but I guess I would have. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's when things can, you know.
It was an awakening for me.
It can be a numbing effect.
Yeah, but I guess you, like you said, when the Novocaine comes off.
Yeah.
But it was an awakening. It is an awakening. If you read like in Astrology King, what Neptune on your sun means, it's like, but it also says if you're going to smoke weed and escape every day, then you're actually like not getting the benefits of it, because it can go that way. Like it's a spiritual awakening. I think that's when I was activated, when it was like, it was in between, because it was in between. I mean, I have like, this is similar for me, the Venus and the sun. It was like, it went over my Venus, which happened to her, and now her sun. Like, it's like, oh yeah, it is Alice down the fucking rabbit hole, but you're just like...
Yeah, Neptune's cool. I love Neptune. I think it's obviously beautiful energy, but it's also like...
But I came out of a lot of
we can drown.
Delusional situation. Like, after it passed, I was like, wow. I mean, it's not that I didn't see it clearly, but I didn't want to believe what I had already known. It's like, I knew that shit was weird in a lot of different situations, but I was like, I literally was like, I'm going to see this from a higher perspective. And I think that was the point. Like, that it makes you really have unconditional love for people and see things from a higher perspective. But that when the numbing effect comes off, like, you're going to know, like, what is meant to be and what was just, like, that lesson in compassion, you know, really, like, embracing that. But, yeah, it's, of course, you can get lost in it. I mean, you could literally, I'm sure a lot of people probably are just fucked up on drugs this whole transit.
Yeah.
Like, if they're...
No, totally.
Yeah.
It can be a huge escaping transit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you do have Lucifer on your Mercury, so I just feel like your mind, like, that's really where things are, like, getting more serious, is in your self-expression and being able to maybe speak more from your soul. Saturn squaring your Neptune also, and Neptune does rule that third house. So I do think, like, Saturn's trying to, like, the rose-colored glasses are off. Like, things are more real now. If there was some kind of a numbing effect, like, it's real, and, like, there's probably something that needs to be said or discussed that probably is a little sensitive to you. I think that, you know, this is a good time to embrace speaking up. I have no idea what's going on out there. Somebody maybe sweeping or something? I don't know.
Is somebody on our patio?
No, I looked. I know.
Is Edgar on the patio?
No one's out there. Looked out the window here. Someone's going crazy. And Chiron's been squaring your nodes, and you have Chiron square your nodes, so you just had your Chiron return in your third. I think you have such a gift for, I think, caring, taking care of others, but, I mean, at what cost, you know? At what cost, Sabrina? I think you're at a point now where you're realizing, like, nothing's ever in balance unless you're able to take authority for yourself and say what's truly on your mind. I think that's, you know, something that maybe you're at now. You're, like, really realizing, like, I have to say things, even if they're sensitive or might rub people the wrong way, or whatever the case may be, to really like go forward and to really make this your journey, so that you can deliver all the wisdom that you have and all the knowledge that you have. But if like you don't speak up, you know, you're never, again, like bringing that authority to yourself and empowering yourself through what you know. So I think you're here to be a great like communicator and teacher, which hopefully you are at this point in your life, and maybe it didn't feel that way all the time. Yeah. All right. Badr.
I think that they have a cat and it's like scratching. Like, don't they have those things? Don't cats have those things that they can like scratch their claws on to like file their name? Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because then I went out there and I was, you know, all Virgo rising, like, what's going on out here? And I couldn't, and then I heard it because it would stop every time I came out. God, I feel like I forgot we're live. Yeah, so I think it's a cat just like, yeah, he's like filing his nails. Maybe it's a message.
It's a message.
All is good. Oh, yeah, Badar. And that's Lottie's friend, so he is sleeping. Yeah, okay.
All right, Leo rising, Taurus sun, the prize bull.
Oh, right. Oh,
prize bull.
Okay, I was like, another Leo moon? No, Aries moon. But a fire moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of fire moons.
Yeah, 10th house, sun, Jupiter. Definitely here to make a mark, you know, here to do something that gets recognized, to stay on the wrong date.
Oh,
What's
wrong
the
date. Oh, what is it? May 5th or May 12th?
1988. That's what it, May 12th, 1988.
Wait, that's, yeah.
December?
Oh, December.
Oh, we read
dates
12, a little differently here.
Oh, it's 12/5. Okay.
Here we do the month in the States.
Oh, 5 December.
We do we do like 12/5 would be December, but yeah, we can fix that.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he's a Sag. He's not a Taurus.
Cool.
12.
Well, I didn't look at this chart at all before we started, so.
Yeah. December. Right.
Oh, it's some 5th.
Yeah. December 5th, 1988, 11. Yeah. I'm in Australia, yeah.
Yeah. Easy confusion.
Oh, yeah. And it's a Mercury retrograde. We'll just blame it on Mercury retrograde.
Hey, I mean, if it was like 15/5 or 5/15, I would have been like, oh, there's only 12 months. It has to be.
Right.
Or whatever the case. But that one could have gone both ways. So, unlucky guess.
You are a Sag, Badar.
Yeah, Badar, you're a Sag, and you got a Libra moon, and you're an Aquarius rising, so disregard all that other nonsense.
You're a 29-degree Libra moon. South node's coming for you.
But still, Mercury, Sun in the 10th house. That stuff I said about recognition, true.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that, you know.
Does he travel for a living?
Leave a mark. Do something big. Sag. I feel like Sag 10th house is, you know, somebody that's here to work hard, to stay on it, to put in, you know, the time and effort to have a statue. Honestly, like have a statue built for them by the collective, Aquarius rising.
Yeah.
Maybe not literally, maybe literally, but
a lot of 11th house
to go after it, you know, to really achieve something in this life. And often you might find the busier you stay, the more free, in a weird way, you might actually feel. But Aquarius rising is kind of weird, so.
Oh, and he's got Jupiter quincunx moon. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's Like that. Well, Pluto, like Pluto quincunx moon. Oh, I love the description on that. I got that.
Yeah, you do.
It's like that would be like a psychic, like,
Yeah, that's intuitive.
yeah, very.
But it's at a weird angle where it's almost like you have to really know your inner abundance and your
Yeah.
truth and what you're feeling. And the more secure you can feel in that, then that can emote to other people and be expressed and really like come to its way. But the moon in Libra, you know, because that's why Libra and Taurus make such a weird quincunx to each other.
And it's Venus ruled energy,
And they're
too.
both Venus ruled energy, is that one is so much more correlated to self and your self-worth and your confidence and your capacities in life, and the other one's dealing with all these external situations, and it's at 29 degrees.
Yeah. Karmic degrees.
So, you know, it's like wanting to keep the peace so much that you forget also kind of what you really stand for in life or what you really believe in. So it's good to be able to negotiate and have conversation. I think that's crucial. But at the same time, again, it's weird situations in life that get presented to you of how to express what you do know without maybe coming off a little too, you know, hard-headed. You're also a Pluto in the ninth, Pluto Venus. I mean, you have an intense, you know, value system of your own that are highly, you know, involved with beliefs and the truth
Pluto
that you have.
Venus, yeah.
So, you know, you can get very, very, you know, committed emotionally and feeling to what you believe. However, can you have conversations? Can you express these? Can you go back and forth? Can you let other people believe things? The moment that you become so dogmatic, you'll start to repel people from your life, and you won't feel like you're getting the benefit of your knowledge because you have a lot of knowledge that is valuable. You have a lot of like knowing in you that's valuable. It's just you have to be able to connect it with some buddy, you know. You gotta be able to express and communicate.
Is there anything positive for him in the future? Well, let's look at the transits.
Wait, what?
She wants to know if there's anything positive for him in the future.
Oh.
Because this is Lottie's friend, is because she got the reading for him. Because he's sleeping, so he'll watch the playback. But yeah, let's see. I mean, he's 1988, so what is
Yeah, we gotta switch the chart.
Well,
he's got South Node coming towards his moon. He's got Pluto squaring his moon.
he's in the dark night of the soul.
Yeah, Pluto square moon is definitely dark
Very.
night of the soul vibes.
He's not going to be the same person after, but it's
good.
hard.
It's changing his day-to-day life up. It's changing his beliefs up. It's changing his expression, his relationships. Like so much of this is a deep internal thing that's taking place where
it's a heavy one.
He might be questioning a lot of different things that he thought were the ultimate truth.
Yes.
Just because they're evolving in different ways, maybe through relationships and through conversations or different people, they're trying to, in a way, purify the way he feels about himself. So this is like ultimately trying to like get all the junk out to clean things up so that he can really like know where he's going. But that South Node's going to be on his moon with an exact, you know, second pass of Pluto square his moon.
Yeah.
So this summer is going to be a big release of like.
It's also very healing,
like,
but it's hard.
No, it's
you have to.
It is.
I mean, you
is
have
healing.
to heal in this transit.
This is healing. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it can feel like he's. I feel like he could really question, Badar, you could really question your own beliefs or your own situations regarding what you do every day. This could involve maybe a work situation. Something's trying to like leave, you know, and you're even getting the lunar eclipse, which is going to be on your Pluto Venus. I mean, this is like that ninth house. Like there's something you've been holding on to, possibly in regard to relationships, possibly
like
in
a
regard
thought,
to
an
it could be
idea,
anything you build a relationship to. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a job, maybe it's the world. I don't know what your beliefs are right now, but they're getting a big purification, and it can feel like your ego's getting popped. and it's trying to make you stronger so that you can relate better, and so that you can, I would say, hopefully, like, come to terms with the clarity that's right in front of your face, and then, do something about it.
Because it does, like, it is such an emotional purify, like, that is a hard transit, but you literally, I don't know, that's a Phoenix rising transit.
Yeah, there's like a limiting belief that I would say Badar's been a little bit too attached to, that's getting...
It's almost like...
It's getting blown up in his face, and... Which is leaving him no possible choice but to clean up the situation.
It's almost like, is this really happening? Like, is everything that I believed about this situation or this or people just in general, like idealizing or whatever? It's like, wow.
Yeah.
And
so it's kind of a let go. It's a big let go moment, because
this is not
this is something Badar could have been so hopeful for.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't meant to be. And
or
that doesn't even mean that he was wrong. It just means that it's part of the evolution to see what the other side of it not going to perfect plan was about. Yeah. So that he can almost like form another plan that's more in alignment.
Redirecting.
And more, on the path that I think he would actually rather travel, more unique to himself and more...
Yeah. It's just going through it. It's the letting go and the purifying it's so intense, but it is intense because it's like really wanting you to not be in denial.
Yeah. And,
it's a long transit. She wants to know how long it'll take.
18, Pluto square. He's already in it. There's probably about 16 months left.
Yeah, it's long...
It's not by any means over. Pluto's going to come back and station direct in 2023 on his moon. So...
But having this awareness, hopefully this will help him to understand why he's feeling the way that he's feeling.
Yeah, it's an emotional overhaul. Mm-hmm. Deep within...
Like, he has to do a lot of shadow work.
Himself and the way he relates to himself and others. And I feel like it's an ego popper.
Yeah.
That's like honestly how I feel, because we can get very identified with our beliefs, and this one is like you gotta let go. And
it's a lot of shadow work.
It's okay to let go.
And like really like wherever the trauma or like the beliefs or whatever, like conditioning, like all of that it really is kind of like a veil. It's like a veil, an emotional veil being lifted, and in your but on the other side of that, like he's going to be in his true self and not going to be the same.
No.
Like literally.
And I mean, he's had like the last 2 years, like you said, like South Node on his Sun, his Mercury, his Venus, his Pluto. I mean, going through Saturn square Pluto, Saturn square Venus. I mean, yeah.
It's an initiation.
This dude's and he's going to get Saturn square his Sun here soon. Yeah, Badar's been going through such a deep transformation. He's going to have Saturn station on his North Node in Pisces. This is like trying to help him find himself on like the most deep, like spiritual, empathetic level, so that he can really take authority for that version of himself that is emerging, and to not, I think a lot of it has to do with relationships.
Yeah. And everything's a relationship. We say this
whether
all the time.
Whether it's romantic or not, but it could especially be a romantic relationship, I'll be honest.
I mean, and it's, all of my friends that had the earlier degrees of Libra moons with Pluto and Capricorn, it's what you said, Lottie, at the beginning. Pluto square your moon is a dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
It is. If there's any one transit that you want to say is a dark night of the soul, that would be it. So
look at me. I was born with it.
It's nothing's negative. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing's negative, nor is it's not negative nor positive. It's literally like it is the Phoenix rising, and like I'm never going to have this transit. And the people that were in my life that had this transit, I was like, I had so much compassion for them, like gave them way more hall passes than I should, because I was like, yeah, this shit's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it too is like it is the Dark Night Soul in a sense that he's seeing darkness that resides in him, and I think that it is helping him come to terms and come to terms and also alignment. With that, that is, we all have equal parts dark and light inside of us, and we have to understand the dark within us
and embrace it.
It's important. And I think that this is where you can do a lot of healing and show yourself a lot of love and compassion by really staying true to yourself, understanding yourself,
and its boundaries,
loving yourself through this. It'll help so much. And realizing that you can pull through. You will pull through. Because after this Pluto square and after Saturn's done with the squares to your Sag, like sure, you'll be in your Saturn square, and that'll bring up like situations from your Saturn return. And maybe some very, spiritual stuff as well, because Saturn does rule your 12th, but also it's in your 11th. So, I mean, I feel like this is like a big step for you to start making decisions for yourself, to give yourself a lot of love and empathy, and to start taking authority for your life. And I think a lot of it might not even be like anything crazy. I think it's like the authority within yourself to love yourself unconditionally, without picking yourself apart or without picking other people apart, because that South Node in Virgo in the 7th is way too judgmental of itself and others, and it needs to learn complete like empathy and compassion, especially for self. And that's when I think your most unique qualities will start to shine, and you won't have to hide what you know, or you won't have to hide certain situations. You'll be able to like fully express yourself. And even with the solar eclipse in the 3rd, like this is a whole new cycle of learning how to express yourself, how to communicate, how to, even be assertive with your words.
She would like to know, the last thing is anything good regarding work or travel for him.
The South Node's in the 9th. It's a lunar eclipse is going to be in the 9th. I mean, I would say, like, it's not the most ideal time to travel. Like, everything that's really important is probably more 3rd house, which is more localized.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I would really say that that's, like, where the key is, and even Jupiter's in the 3rd. Everything close is like, where things are, going to get good right now, and it's not
to not escape.
It's not that you can't travel, but, yeah, there's no running from Pluto square your moon.
Yeah.
Like, you might think you can go travel
you
the
can
world
travel
to feel
locally.
Or
you
could
within...
travel. I'm not saying you can't, but
it's 3rd house. It is 3rd house. You're right. So it is like within, like we travel all the time within the state of California, you know. So it could be like, but I would say long distance travel and stuff like that. I don't think that's
like worldly travel. I would say like nah, but anything like in a car actually would be like probably really beneficial. 3rd house is cars, 9th house is planes. It's one way to look at it.
Yeah, and I mean this is a good time too, right? Like that, right? If there is someone like whether that's a therapist or a counselor or something like that, going through a transit like this, to maybe
talking to somebody would be very helpful. This is a time to express. Even the dark stuff, like let it out. Like anytime you can write it down or talk about it, I think that's super important right now.
And only
I
keeping
think
the people.
It's all just to help you find yourself. And even like your Venus, like that does rule your 9th house, and it's going to get trined by Saturn next year. So that's actually pretty nice. And that'll be after, this eclipse season has passed. So I feel like next year, like things could definitely like open up more travel wise, like maybe for work. That might be where things, want to take the next step. I feel like now it's not that you can't travel. It's just you're probably not going to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's almost like you're just going to seek something outside of yourself to like kind of let the numb it of this Pluto moon, but trust me, nothing. You just it's like it's the dark night of the soul for a reason, to really like go and do that inner work, looking at yourself in the mirror and like I mean, that is what ascending and awakening and the purging and that, like, right? It's not like, oh my gosh, is there anything good coming up? Is it this? It's like, this is the reality of your chart. This is what you incarnated with. The universe brought you here to, you have you need to be able to express, but authentically. And
I feel like every Sag is like meant to travel a little bit. Like I feel like
I'm surprised he doesn't in the 10th. Like she says he doesn't travel for his work. I'm surprised by that. With like
that could change. I mean, Saturn's gonna trine Pluto and Venus. This is the 9th and 10th house ruler, and I mean, or not Pluto, but Saturn's gonna trine that.
Like, he's not working at the moment, she said.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he'll start to see next year. He's gonna get more opportunity for that. Even with Saturn square his Sun and Mercury, like it could be a relationship that comes about, whether it's romantic or a work relationship. Mm-hmm. But he's got to like kind of step up and use that authority of himself that he's building with Saturn in the first to be confident enough to like go do it, and to go relate to it. And then I would say to also like be fully expressive too, and to not hold himself back from what he wants too. So I think next year there's a big opening for like really taking some authority. Right now it's more like relearning through this transformation and being okay with this vulnerable place. And it's not that nothing can happen. Things can absolutely happen. But it's more focused on like changing something that he's been holding on to and learning to purify a belief system.
Yeah, and I mean, in the last chart that we're going to do after Badar, it's Casey, and she's it's like very, I'm not going to say similar, but like it's something with Pluto and her moon too, and she's just like, yeah, I mean, but it's like, yes, it's very hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of individuals that go through this transit that aren't aware of this are probably, they escape a lot or try to, and this would be a therapist transit. Like, and definitely lots of you might not have been in, but like we were telling Cody, it's like, for me, I'm like pen to paper, like writing it down
this has like mental
therapeutic to just write. But you know, it's an initiation, and he'll be, his true self. Yeah.
And like be like, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God
that it happened earlier in his life than later.
Thank God. Yeah. And you know, Uranus has been opposing Venus and Pluto. Everything's been a mixed bag of what the F.
Yeah. And so I really hope that this like at least helps you understand and to just like keep going, like 100%. Like I feel this chart.
Yeah.
I feel this. And so we're sending you so much love and light, and that you, I mean, just think, it's like, it's almost like Superman. Like you're going to be unstoppable.
Come out feeling more Clark Kent.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a
superhero transit, but right, you got it. It's like getting through the dark to really get to the light. So much love to you.
Yeah.
So much love. And then in a year, 6 months in a year, we want to know. Thank you, Lottie, for
representing.
Sharing, representing, and for sharing Badar's chart with us, and you know, just be there for him. So, mwah.
Yeah.
Casey, Space of Case, she is not in the chat because she is flying right now.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
Jupiter in the 9th in Capricorn.
Right.
Travel for a job.
Yeah, and Casey's been going. Casey actually was at the event.
I know.
When Cody was there. I wonder if Cody and Casey met.
They did.
Okay, yeah. So that's
Yeah, we all hung out and talked for a little bit.
yeah. So Casey is a beautiful soul, and she is right onto the path, her spiritual path, but always growing. And but right, she's got some shit going on. And what is that, Mr. Scarborough?
Well, for one, she's finishing up with Jupiter in the 12th. Jupiter in the 12th sucks. It just sucks.
Just be honest.
Feels like you're not getting anywhere, and you're actually getting everywhere, and it's starting to really ignite a lot of like of who you are. You've had Pluto that's been squaring your ascendant. That is not fun either, but it's coming off. You're in your nodal return. Oh no, you're not. Sorry.
That already happened.
That already happened.
Not too long ago. Well, right. She came off of that, though, not too long ago.
But you do have Saturn square your nodes right now, and your south node, Sag, north node.
Moon. Saturn, moon, no?
Saturn, yeah. Well, Saturn will station and has been squaring the moon. Yeah, Saturn square moon sucks, too, because it feels like you're not able to maybe be as free as you want to in your south node, Sag. And, I mean, I'll be honest, Casey, you do live a very Sag life. Yeah. Moon, south node, like, I know you're a flight attendant, so I already have the upper hand because I know that's what you do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's something that I feel like you were kind of, in a sense, you are a traveler. You always, you have been before and now, and
yeah.
It's, about bringing it, in a sense, like, localized, too, with the North Node in Gemini, like, learning how to, again, express yourself, communicate, which that's one, benefit too of what you do. You do get to, probably have a lot of talks with different people on your day-to-day, basis, but your North Node's with Chiron, so you're also on this like immense healing journey, and like it's the mind that's getting healed, and it's learning how to conversate, express yourself, find value in your mind too, value in your expression, value in your words, your writing, everything that, you have in your intuitive knowledge base, which is a lot. You got to kind of learn to really see the value in that and to express it. And I think to make things, simple. It can feel like the more complicated or deep things get or more intense they are, the more exciting or adventurous they are. And that's true, but I think that, again, there's something that's more simple about the second house, which is not so much a need for some journey outside of yourself, but like how can you really find that journey inside for yourself that really aligns with your mind and your values and your knowledge. Your Pluto in the 7th, Pluto on the descendant. That's another big one because you're in your Pluto square right now too. And Pluto in the 7th, it's a deep desire for relationships. It's also where a lot of relationships get blown up. Because every relationship teaches you so much about yourself, and especially with eclipse in your first house on your ascendant, this is a big moment of like really finding yourself through this transformation. Pluto rules your 8th house. You're in Aries rising.
Yeah, I was just going to say she moon south node.
Yeah.
And moon in the 8th. I mean, yeah, it's 0. Like, it's intense.
Yeah, I feel like you're going through a huge inner transformation that's trying to show you the deeper depths of what really your truth is, like your subjective knowing and what you want and how to take authority in a sense for that, because so much wants to go to the first. Your Mars is in Scorpio too with Saturn, so you're done with the South Node transits and you're going to be in your Saturn trine, which could be very good for your career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's in her Pluto square, right? Yeah. And Saturn on the moon. So, right, yeah.
It's a very in-depth time for you right now. Something's trying to kind of like metamorphosize, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, and Saturn squaring the moon in her 8th. So, yeah, I mean, it's...
I think you're just kind of getting really ready to like come into your own. So it can feel like a deep dive into, again, your own shadow,
Yeah.
Where it can be a little scary, but it doesn't have to be scary. I think it's just like embracing what you do know and learning how to, I think, commit to what you really want for yourself, what you really want. Like, what do you really want to do? Who is Casey right now? You're going to be different than maybe what you thought or what you identified with before. You've already had Pluto square your ascendant. Like, you're ready to kind of go after something bigger that really aligns with you. And, you know, I think it could feel maybe like it's kind of a lonely time for yourself, but like you don't need somebody else. In fact, the more you do things on your own and what you really want, the more you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
And the more that you'll be able to find, you know, relationships. And South Node's going to be on your Pluto with that Pluto square. So I think this is a big, like, dissolution. It's kind of like getting the waste out from, like, some deep desires that were never meant to come true. So that you can really start the next chapter and start something, because there's a lot that's getting started in your life right now. And it's important to, like, learn to let go. If you hold on to the things that you already know, then you're not learning. And maybe that's part of it too, is like being a little uneasy about taking in new information.
I'm just trying to see, it's her Venus. Oh, 23 Cancer.
Yeah. Mercury's in Leo. And yeah, Pluto's going to start to oppose that Mercury too. It's probably in the next 3-4 years that you really start to see what's getting unlocked within your North Node, because it's disposited by that Mercury. And you start to, like, there could be some deep, you know, stuff that needs to come out, whether emotionally. Maybe it has to do with, like, really finding, like, home base too. Pluto's
Yeah, well, she has been
aspects
saying
to,
she wants to move.
Yeah, Pluto's making a really nice aspect right now to, like, your moon and your North Node, coming up on that, but really your moon, that's your 4th house ruler. So I think, like, you're kind of getting, I feel like you're getting ready to maybe hunker down. Maybe just within your own beliefs and feelings and going through the transformation that you're going through right now, but there might be also a desire to, like, figure out how to be maybe home more, to, like, find some kind of a home base. Which might be a weird belief shift, because maybe that's not what you wanted in the past.
Oh yeah, that I could see that. Yeah. That it might be, like, weird or out of her comfort zone for her, because she is always, like, traveling and on the go, and she does want, well, she was telling us, but that it, you know, she's feeling a move.
Yeah.
And she said that she's more now into, like, yeah, like, getting back into, like, her yoga practice and stuff like that, which I think is good with all of this going on, to have a grounding, you know, practice or something to, like, be, you know, going into. So, because that's healing too. So, yeah. I mean, it's, Casey, it's not like you know, she's great at astrology too. And at least being aware of your transits, you know, that, yeah, it's, it's, it's an initiation.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of initiation, and even Mars is coming into the 4th, so there could be more of a desire to kind of chill out, take it easy, find out what you really want in your foundation. It's on your sun right now. The desire could be even more prevalent as we're doing this. But it'll meet with Venus too.
Oh yeah, that'll be a nice Mars, Venus. Yeah.
It's kind of coming to the Venus point, right, when we get the lunar eclipse in her 7th. So it's an interesting one, because Venus does rule the 7th. And the lunar eclipse is coming, so there could be like a big desire for relationship energy.
Or could something come in?
Possibly. Venus is going to station in the 5th. Could potentially bring something romantic in.
Yeah. Or like at least like fun or like 5th house energy. Yeah.
I think this is a really deep time for you, and you want to figure out what that looks like for you and not get caught up in too much external stuff, whether it's relationships or whatever it might be. Like,
I don't really feel like
hone in on what you want right now, and I think that's what can really start to kick off. And Jupiter coming into your 1st is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
For the next year. So like you have that to look forward to. And
yeah.
I'm very happy for you for that, because I know that feeling. I just had that. Jupiter in the 12th felt like kind of like I was on lockdown in a sense, like.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. It was just a feeling.
Like a 12th house,
Yeah.
like you're jailed. Yeah.
So I think a lot of the gift is going to be in when you start like really coming into that Aries rising.
Yeah.
And really like embracing what you want. I'm going to go get it. I can do things by myself. I don't need this. I don't need that. All I need is my self-empowerment, my identification, and my deep truth and my deep wisdom. And I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to tell it how it is.
Yeah.
Without like, any kind of like worry about what other people might think of it or how they might feel. So I think that's where Casey's going.
Yeah, no, you felt that switch when it went into your 1st.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you'll feel at least like that.
Yeah, I feel way
like some
more
motivation.
Free.
Yeah.
Way more free. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
It's not even a feeling. Like my life is more free.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
More free than it's been in a very long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's
good. Jupiter in the 1st is great, and you only have another week of it in your 12th. So congratulations.
It's like
you will start.
You're
feeling
right
better.
there at the end, Casey. We're gonna have
and I know Saturn's squaring your node, so it's just like don't lose yourself right now in a bunch of like I don't know, just like beliefs of like what some passionate relationship would be like, or some just like stay focused on like reinventing yourself for what you want right now.
Yeah. And I don't think I think she does desire a relationship, but I don't
make it your first priority.
Yeah.
Make yourself your first
not.
priority.
Yeah.
A relationship will come probably next year, to be honest.
Yeah. But it's like getting through these like, well, I mean, because you're transforming. Yeah. It's so much of the inner, so that it's like right when a relationship does come in, like you've done the work, you are doing the work. It's like then it can be on like a solid foundation and in alignment. It would be hard to be in a relationship right now with all this shit going on.
Oh yeah, with this transformation going on, like
it like have
get
fun.
In a relationship with you, think they knew what they were getting in a relationship with. Then you'd be coming out of your cocoon, and they'd be like, I don't even know who you are. I wanted to be with the caterpillar. And you'd be like, well, bitch, I'm a butterfly.
Yeah. And
you
sting
don't
like
it?
A bee.
You don't it?
What's that?
Be like, well, no, I'm really into caterpillars. And be like, well, then go be with a caterpillar.
Right. I mean, like, I would say, of course, have fun. Like, I believe you do, go out and like do things, but like let it be lighthearted but right. Next year, let the right.
Don't push anything away just to push it away.
They get through all of this shit to then I'm like, okay, you've set up a solid foundation and you're ready to attract that like solid in alignment relationship.
I just wouldn't have like grandiose expectations from another person right now. That's all.
Just do you.
Yeah, live life, have fun, do what you want. That's the thing. It's like, this is your time to do what you want.
Move out west.
Do it. And don't get attached to what somebody else wants, or just don't get attached
and just
right
be
now.
authentic AF.
If you don't get attached right now, you'll be fine.
Yeah. No. And then, just be Jupiter coming into your first. Just do you, boo. Do you. We love you guys. Mwah! I'm so excited that we're going to do just.
Kind of like the beginning of this show. Just talk and hang out and
express. Get your questions ready.
Ask questions.
Transits. I mean, whatever. Anything. Crystals. Like my cool thing that I was watching on Mysteries of the Museum. I know. And I was I got to go get my Libyan desert glass. I knew it. Yeah, it was a scarab, and it was a scarab beetle that, obviously they carved the Libyan desert glass into a scarab beetle, and it was in King Tut's tomb. So, thank you guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, all of you, and supporting.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, right. What do you want to know about crystals? All of it. But we love you guys so much. And we will see you very, very we're going to be gone next week. So we probably should, I don't know, Sunday or Monday. Yeah, because then we go to Maria's family.
Monday.
All right. So we're going to plan on Monday. But we love you guys. Mwah! Have such a beautiful weekend.
Much love, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.